Hi guys, this is take two because I just got disturbed by my partner, as usual. This is take two to my video blog. It's 15th of January today, 2016. I wasn't actually going to do a video blog today, but something happened earlier that's really inspired me to. I've had a pretty normal, mediocre day, just normal stuff. Been out shopping, took the children to school. Been out shopping for my partner's birthday on Monday, which is very exciting, nice surprises. And later on in the afternoon, something not very nice happened. I mean, it wasn't necessarily that bad, but it wasn't very nice what happened. And I'm doing this blog to talk to you about our feelings on the inside and what we look like on the outside. Because a lot of people, think that if someone looks okay, that they are okay, and the truth, the reality is they feel like their whole world's crashing down around them. But they paint a smile and, they act tough, and people think that it's okay and they're fine. But in reality, they're really, really not. And I think that's something that we should all take into consideration with everyone that we meet, everyone that we already know. You don't always know what's going on inside someone's mind. There's times where your own mind is your worst enemy and is the absolute worst place to be in the whole entire universe. I wouldn't even go as far as say the world, the whole entire universe. Your mind can literally be your worst enemy that you'd ever even, worse than what you see in horror movies with a lot of people, which is very unfortunate, but that's why I'm here, and I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So back to my story today. I had something again, something not very nice happen, but due to that situation, I crossed paths with a gentleman that has really inspired me to make this blog today. And of course the law of attraction came in, because all I'm focused on at the moment and my dominant thoughts are to helping people, and I completely believe that this is why this has happened, and everything happens for a reason. So I met up with this guy, and we was to talk about something very brief, not much details of this and that or anything. Our meeting was to be pretty brief, but it turned out that we ended up conversing for 2 to 3 hours, and we were talking about a lot of other different subjects, but mainly about my book, because I told him that I'd written a book. And the first thing that I saw, after a couple of minutes, is someone, like a lot of people that I've encountered, a lot of people, and I'm sure you all have too, if you're not that person, that are very, very strong outer shell, very dominant, very okay, very stable, but I could just see the pain in his eyes. I could just see straight through, like it is literally a window to his soul. And he revealed to me that he's never actually cried. He's never shed a tear since he was a child, and had been through a lot of experiences that would absolutely break people. And a little science fact about crying. Crying for sad purposes, grief, all them kind of emotions that you can cry from. Unless you like me and you're crying. The scientific tests and studies that have been proven over and over again, and please don't just take my word, please go out and research it for yourself, that in your tears of sadness and grief there are toxins, like literal toxins in the tears. So when you cry, it is very good for your body, because otherwise them toxins, they just build up and they just stay there lingering around. And how I explained it to this gentleman earlier on was, crying is natural. We are meant to cry. If we wasn't meant to cry, we wouldn't cry. So imagine you didn't have a poo. It sounds quite gross, but it's the same thing. It's natural. We're meant to do it, and we have to do it to keep us functioning. Because if we went, for like a week, 2-3 weeks without, going to the toilet, what would happen? We would be blocked up, and we would literally be full of crap. And it's really, really bad for us. And it's exactly the same with crying. And it's proven, and there's been studies and tests, that a happy tear and a sad tear are completely different. It's really amazing. I do suggest that you do some research on your tears and see just how good they are for you. So yeah, just that admission alone, it really, really blew me away. And I thought to myself, right, we've got to do something. Nothing gets, when people have got really bad underlying problems, that are really severe, they're not dealt with just like that. I mean, if it's something small, you can deal with it quite quickly. But when you've got deep issues, exactly like what I had when I had the anxiety attacks, I was having them horrendous dreams, and I didn't trust myself because of these dreams. I'd have a dream, and the next day, and for weeks, even now, I can remember them in graphic detail, exactly how I did when I had the dream. It's a long recovery. You have to accept it, and you have to acknowledge it, and then you have to deal with it. And this is my suggestions for this man earlier. He needs to cry. And for anybody else that feels like, I'm too strong to cry, I'm not going to cry, I don't cry, that's just not me, I'm my friends, but I'm not a bitch like that. It's not a bitch thing to do at all. We all need to cry. It's such a huge emotional outlet. And like I said, we're going to the toilet. If you don't let it out, it's just going to build up and build up and build up and build up, and it's only got negative impacts. So yeah, my suggestion for this gentleman, and for anybody else that's watching this or is going through the same, is if you feel like you can't actually cry, is to write down the things, the traumatic things that have happened that you should really cry about, and just think of them. Just sit down and think to yourself, what are my traumatic experiences? As soon as that thought comes, it doesn't have to be in detail, because of course your memory, you already know all the details. So you just quickly write it down, next one, quickly write it down, next one. However long, however many you've got, it doesn't matter. And then what I would suggest, and it sounds really girly now, but again, music is absolutely huge for the human brain. It's got so many effects on the brain, it's unbelievable. Is to put on a nice piece of music that will take you back to them times, them memories, or something that makes you evaluate your emotions, something that can make you feel quite sad. But I'm not saying listen to all depressing songs and just sit there and just be miserable. Not at all. Put something on that takes you back to them times, or any piece of music that gives you emotion, that makes you feel emotional. And then sit down on your own with a partner. You can do it however you feel comfortable, and just go through them. And I would suggest to do it on your own, but again, it's completely up to you. And really think about them situations. Don't think about the shoulda, woulda, couldas, because that's just complete and utter no-go, because it's never going to happen. So just banish them thoughts of I could have done this, or I could have done that. This would have been different. That would have been. Forget all of them thoughts. Put yourself back in that moment. And I know this it will be very hard for some people. For myself, I find it very hard. I'll think about family members that I've lost, or traumatic experiences I've had as a child, and I'll sit and cry. But I'm dealing with the situation, and afterwards I feel so much better. And just put yourself back in that situation that you was when this traumatic incident happened. And recall every detail. Again, No woulda, shoulda, couldas. Don't harm nobody. Don't help the situation. They just make it worse. So just don't do that. And put yourself back in that situation and feel everything back in that situation. Be mindful of that situation in your memory. Hear the sound, see the sights, smell the smells, what was the day like, what was you wearing, all of the small details. Sit and really think about them. And then think about, how you felt after. And dwell on those thoughts for a while. Just dwell on them. And just let your emotions, just let them pour out. If you need to cry, and you haven't cried, you feel that you're too strong to cry, I'll tell you now, you're not too strong to cry. Nobody is too strong to cry. There's no such thing as a don't cry, because, it's insane. We need to cry. And, you can comment on my video or put on my Facebook if you do this. Tell me how you felt after. Because I guarantee you, whether it be an hour, whether it be the next day, whether it be immediately, you will feel so much better. And if you haven't cried for a long, long time, and then emotions and then feelings start coming out, expect to be crying for a while, expect that. But don't wipe your tears away and do what I used to do and get angry and I'll just wipe my tears. But I'm not crying, what am I going to cry for? Forget that. And I'd feel anger instead. Let that go. All them tears, all them lip quivering, the lump in the throat, bring it on as much as you can possibly do. And anything that's ever brought you trauma and made you sad, bring it on and just do it. Just let it all out for as long as it takes. You could be up till 6 o'clock in the morning crying, and that's okay. That is absolutely fantastic, and that is the first step forward, most definitely. As from my eyes, I'm not a medical practitioner, I've got no degrees or anything like that. I'm just speaking from someone who's had, I've had a lot of life experiences, and I've seen and been in situations of people that have had such a crap life, and it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Living on the streets, not like literally homeless, but on the streets, anyone, a lot of people from Birmingham who've been brought up in the ghetto will know what I'm talking about. So from living on the streets and being around, you're around, such an array of different people, but you can guarantee that 95% of them people are all lower class, or lower class. People that have been forgotten about, people that are struggling to live every day, people that have got drug addictions, alcohol addictions, anger issues, they've been neglected by their family, nobody cares. And literally, people that nobody, if they died tomorrow, nobody would miss them. And that, is absolutely horrendous. So, I'm speaking from life experiences and, from what I've seen and experienced myself as well. So, you take my advice, try it out, it's worth a shot. If anything can help, if anything, it's got a potential of helping, do it. It's pointless thinking, you don't know nothing, you ain't nobody or anything. I know I'm not nobody, but I know I'm there. I might be nobody to nobody else, but to me, I'm everything. And that's how everyone should feel about themselves. So so back to this guy anyway. And I felt so inspired by him, and I think he was really inspired by me as well, which is fantastic, because that's what I'm here to do. That's my life purpose. That's why I was put on this earth, to help people. And to find out that he's never cried, and just his whole aura was just really solid. Like, he might as well have had, a complete armour suit on from head to toe, except for his eyes. And of course, you can tell a lot from someone by their eyes. And you can, if you know what you're doing, and you've just got that in you, you can tell a lot from someone's eyes, and you can really connect with them. So when I'm talking to a lot of people, some people find it quite rude, but I always maintain eye contact when they're talking, and I watch their body language and all them things, and I pick up on things really quickly. And I picked up with this guy. He was he'd done very well in his life. He'd, got his family, got his career, got his money in his pocket. But underneath all the exterior, underneath all the normal things, what society tells us to do, get a job, have a family, get married, get your car, all the rest of that, was a really soft man, a really, really soft young man at that. I didn't, when I was talking to him, I felt like I was talking and connecting with the person that he was when he was telling me about experiences. I felt like I was talking to that person. And he's an absolutely, inspirational guy. He just goes to, show as well that regardless of the problems that life throws at you, you can still move on, because he's doing a lot of things now to address these problems, which again is fantastic. Oh, sorry. Which again is fantastic, because a lot of people brush them under the carpet, and especially a lot of men, they don't seek help for it, and my dad was one of them. He still is now. I don't need counselling or anything. I'm fine. I don't need counselling. What do I need counselling for? And they live with them problems. My dad's still suffering from problems now from being a child, which still affect him on a daily basis, because he's never got to the root of the issues, and he's never actually dealt with the issues and accepted them. Because when you accept them issues, because a lot of people that live in denial, like I did for a long time, you just forget about it and it's not happening. Ignorance is bliss, but it's not. It really isn't. And things that have happened, they've already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. You just need to accept it and say, this is me. This is what I've done. I've cried my tears. I've felt the pain, and I've moved on, and I've let go. I've let go. And, just crying alone, it can really help with that massively. And, a lot of women out there, I don't doubt, will be able to understand that, when you've broke up with your partner or something, and you've cried for a while, and then you start, you think, what, forget this, I'm so much better than this, and they've just moved on with their lives, and it's just a life lesson, and, an experience, but acceptance is the key. And when you can accept it, as the reality, because of course it is the reality, it has happened, it is true, and you can feel the emotions that you've been blocking up, for all this time, you, my friend, are most definitely on the quickest way to recovery, most definitely. I mean, it's pointless, going to groups and therapy and talking and everything, but, not feeling it and not understanding and accepting it, because, anyone can talk about their life experiences to anyone, say, yeah, this happened, I'm all right, I've dealt with it and everything, when they really haven't. Because these traumatic experiences, they embed onto our subconscious, which is located at the front of your brain. And your subconscious is like the pilot to the plane. So, your subconscious, it instructs your mind, your conscious mind, of how to act, your outlook on life, absolutely everything. So if you've got trauma and negativity and, things that are undealt with issues that are here, you can be sure that they're going to affect you at one point or another. They are going to affect you. So yeah, I'm going to finish up just there because it's 10 o'clock. I'm very tired, but I had to do this vlog tonight because it made me feel wonderful as well, because I do believe I've had an impact on this person tonight, most definitely. I don't doubt that. And also he's had a very big impact on me as well, and he's actually inspired me to do more, even though I am doing as much as I possibly can, but to just really to continue it, and it's made me feel good about what I'm doing, which of course it's fantastic. So I'll leave you with that, and I wish you a good night, and I'll maybe speak tomorrow. Bye.